Polls show that the system is angry that they can't use false flags anymore. It even came out in mainstream London Guardian last month that a U.S. CIA agent did run the Mumbai attacks. I mean, it came out in the Washington Post. The CIA is putting out fake bin Laden videos. It's now coming out that the CIA is growing the opium in Afghanistan. But I've seen a shift in their tactic, Mr. Hart, to now just kind of throwing it in our face, hoping we just become acclimated. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, well, one of the things that really makes me angry is that all of our leaders, they treat us with absolute contempt. They think that we're idiots, and they just don't think we can add up the dots and see how the pieces fit. But there's an old mafia saying, Alex, that I like. Don't get angry, get even. I think that's a good message to the people of America and the people of Western Europe. For God's sake, become informed and start to participate in the political process to make your democracy work. Otherwise, we are all going to end up in Orwellian-type police states. Well,
that's right. I mean, they want us to know they're corrupt and bad and that there's no hope. But there is hope because now Zbigniew Brzezinski said last week, I don't know if you saw this, he said for the first time the entire world is awakening to our agenda for world government, and we're in trouble. And the CFR people did not look confident.
No, well, Brzezinski really did say that, did he?
Yeah, I mean, he said it in about a 6-minute clip. But basically, yes, he said that.
Right. So, I mean, I think we've got a year or two as citizens of the Western world to become engaged or not, because I think we're running out of time before we have this complete systems takeover.
You know what, sir? Talk about your view, and I may even keep you a few minutes more. I know Bob Chapman won't mind. We've got to go to break, but I'll probably keep you 5 more minutes if you can. But start getting into how you talked about the former British Prime Minister telling you that he was concerned about a total police state.
Yeah. When we come back, yeah?
Absolutely, but we've got about a minute. Get started.
Okay. Well, no, let's remind your viewers, Ted Heath was a British Prime Minister. In other words, he knew exactly what was going on behind closed doors. And he feared, after he left office, that Britain would become the first police state. And I can see it in my country as well as your own. All the monitoring that's going on, all the cameras, all the tapping of telephones. I tell you, Alex, when I get up in the morning and the first time I make a telephone call, I normally say into the telephone, good morning 5, good morning 6, our 2 agencies, good morning CIA, good morning Mossad, and bugger the lot of you.
So do I. No, I do that.
Yeah. No, but it's fundamentally, Alex, a question of human nature, you know, and this is the big test. Can we address that in the last couple of minutes after the break?
Yes, we'll do that and then get Bob Chapman's take on a host of issues straight ahead. Our guest, we'll have a few more minutes left, and then Bob Chapman coming up, ladies and gentlemen. AlanHart.net is his website. Our websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank. and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
All right, finishing up with Alan Hart, dealing with 9/11 and who stood to gain, who was involved. We're finishing up our discussion with him, and then Bob Chapman of the internationalforecaster.com is going to be joining us. You were talking about the former British Prime Minister who you were having dinner with many years ago, and this was back in the 70s then, because that's when he was Prime Minister. Yeah. And he said, "I'm afraid of a police state." And then we saw that modern police state grow in England, and now that exact system that's been beta tested there is going in worldwide. We learned Google is really an NSA front. They're spying on everything. They've got predictive programming systems that they call basically crystal balls, where they can basically predict the future of what masses of people are going to do. We have the elite playing God with a high-tech Orwellian panopticon. Your closing comments on that?
Alex, I think the single most important question, and it's very germane to everything we've been talking about, is what is the real quality of human nature? Now, we all know there are two views. The pessimistic view says we human individuals are on balance inherently, unchangeably short-sighted, selfish and stupid. Now that's the view of politicians because they need it to be that view. It's the view of the mainstream media. It's the view of corporates, bankers especially. But there is another view. The other view is that put into words by my favorite philosopher, who happens to be an American, John Dewey. Are you familiar with his work, Alex?
Sure. Tell folks his quote.
Well, John Dewey wrote sometime in the 1920s, 30s. Now, incidentally, I had this view myself before I knew it was his. He said, we must unlearn what we have been taught about the unchangeability of human nature. In other words, Alex, what he was saying is, we have been conditioned to be short-sighted, selfish and stupid. It follows that we could be reconditioned by education to be something else. That's my point, and I believe that's the key to everything.
And we are educating and informing here today. Well, it's also, who do you build up as an idol? Inventors, trailblazers, scientists, people who make self-sacrifice, or movie stars, Lindsay Lohan, what's the new drug she's on? So they've taken the weaker elements of humanity and focused on it in a feedback loop by design in their own documents to debase society. The Romans 2,000 years ago were doing this, and as they got more decadent, the more games, the more bread and circus, the more dehumanization. So, I mean, you read Edward Bernays, you read Joseph Goebbels, this is stuff 50, 60, 70 years ago, and you could see it all in play today. But that development of where I'll be reading a British psychological war manual from the 60s, declassified in the 90s, and I would have already thought everything in there about human nature and how they manipulate us. I've already seen the programming, reverse engineered it, and then to read them laying out how they do it, and all the different layers of like an art form of different types of propaganda and brainwashing, all integrated in together. It is devastating the average person who was never brought up to even be on the lookout for this. But the good news is it was 5% that established our republic. It was less than 5% that got the Magna Carta in England. It's always been a highly motivated group of people that have great movements for good and small groups that have great movements for bad. So we know that if we who are awake and informed and truly care do not stop and take action, history will be ours. Or we can turn it over to the control freaks who want to turn us into a bunch of mindless animals